Before we jump into this super exciting new podcast, I just wanted to let you know that I am so thankful for all your love and support. I also a lot of people always ask, they're like, do you have a clip store? And I actually do. It's on manyvids.com. So you can type in fitsid.manyvids.com. It'll also be linked down below. You can see all the videos I've made. There's like previews there and stuff. So if you're curious, I actually don't have every single video on there, but I have a lot of them. So I will have that link down below. But once again, it is fitsid.manyvids.com. I'm your host, Fitsid, and welcome back to Dirty CEO, where we go balls deep into the reality of what people are really thinking. Now let's get into it. Dirty CEO. Hey everyone, it's your girl Sydney, and welcome back to Dirty CEO. Today I'm here with Alex Cole.
Hi, that's me. I'm Alex Cole.
Yeah, tell them about yourself.
So I started doing webcam in February 2015, and I started doing mainstream in January 2019, and I make my own content, and I direct some scenes, and I'm just a girl on the internet doing her best.
Yeah, so. And you're amazing at it, and you also have glasses like me.
I do. Look at our glasses.
Do you think you're kind of like considered like a nerdy girl on the internet? Natural? What's your...
I think that people... I have a lot of... I like to say I have a multifaceted personality.
Yeah.
I think the majority of people think like librarian, nerdy girl, but I definitely have people that watch me that think mommy and think like I like doing all kinds of stuff. So I think the majority of people do like all natural and nerdy are probably the top two.
And you don't have any... Do you have work done?
No, I don't even have my ears pierced.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Why not?
I don't like needles.
Oh.
Honestly.
So how do you get tested?
It's a chore every time.
Like every 2 weeks, you're like, all right, I'm doing it.
It's been a journey. Because when I first started, I've always gone to talent testing. Yeah. And there was this nice Indian man who would like hold my hand and do my blood, and I would cry. And I went from that, I went to my doctor, and I was like, I need something to help me get through this because I have to do it every 2 weeks. Yeah. And he gave me a Xanax prescription. Yeah. So then I would take Xanax, but then I would forget the whole day because I would take a bar of Xanax. And because I have a high tolerance for things. Yeah. And so I went from Xanax to weed when weed got legalized. Yeah. And I started having like a ton of edibles, but then I still would have like no day. Right. And it still hurt. And it's not about the needle for me, it's about the pain.
So do you not have easy veins then?
No, I have really easy veins. I feel pain like flipped a little bit is what my doctor was saying. He was like, basically he thinks I have a nerve issue. So if I get like a little scratch or like a paper cut, it hurts really bad. Like I had boiling oil poured on my arm when I was a kid on accident. And that sounded bad. Yeah. And it hurts like that. It really like, because that was like a 2nd-degree burn. It hurts like that when I get little stuff done to my skin. And, but if I break my arm, we could just finish the podcast. I wouldn't even notice.
That is so wild.
Yeah, because I've broken these 2 arms at the same time, this arm 2 different times, and my collarbone. And
I've never broken an arm like that. I did it when I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
Because I was learning how to walk, and that's it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I could break both my arms and be like, okay, so anyway, what's the next thing you want to talk about? And it's the world's worst superpower, though, because I haven't broken a bone since I was like 18 in college, and I got my collarbone in a car accident. So
you're like fine with breaking your bones and stuff? And like, do you do BDSM?
I do, actually. I just did a femdom scene yesterday. It was really fun with Caitlin Katsaros. Have you seen her?
Yeah. Did you dominate her then? Are you more dominant?
I've gone through, my sexuality is extremely fluid, I think. Yeah. And I started out being extremely submissive. Like I couldn't even imagine dominating someone. Yeah. But camming introduced me to femdom, and I love it. And I was talking to her about this. Yeah. I've come to accept that I really enjoy inflicting pain on people. Yeah. But only if they like it. If they don't like it, it turns me off.
Do you like busting?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I used to have a guy in Vegas that I did busting with all the time, and it was a great outlet, and he retired, so I can't do it anymore.
You should do it with Brother Love.
I would totally do it.
We should
We've
do
talked
one together.
About it. Yes.
Because I love kicking him in the and it's funny because
and he likes it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. He'll text me later, like a week later, and be like, "Oh, I'm still feeling it. It feels great."
I want that. Because with the guy I was doing, one time we shot for like this German guy, and I made him throw up 3 times.
Okay, well, here's the crazy thing. He doesn't throw up. He just feels like the best way to put it is like you can tell he's starting to feel sick.
Yeah.
But he loves it so much he just keeps going. Like,
yeah.
It's kind of crazy too because like sometimes he can still have sex afterwards.
That's amazing.
Like he really like gets turned on. Like his hard.
That's
but like
so cool.
He's in pain. Yeah.
You know who else is fun like that?
Who?
Tommy Pistol, because he likes it if you bite him.
Yeah.
He wants you to chew on it.
You know Jason Lee Scott? He has like the split tongue.
Oh, I don't think we've worked together or anything.
Okay, so I don't know how much he like works now, but like this was like right before the pandemic and stuff. I had never met someone that actually liked like getting hurt. Like they're getting hurt, and he like asked me and Crystal Davis to like bite it, hurt it. Like that was how he got hard. And I was like, holy shit, I'm literally biting the like my teeth are sharp. I was like, my poor teeth are like going into your right now, but he loved it. And it's just interesting how some people, like, as long as they love it, like, I'm cool doing it.
Yeah, and that's how I started liking it, was I was like, wait, I can get out these things that I want to do, and you like it?
Yeah, and, like, I don't feel bad.
That's perfect.
What'd you shoot with Caitlin yesterday? I know you said femdom, but, like...
Oh, my God.
Because she shoots puke, so, like...
Yeah, we actually did a little bit of that. She's so nice. She's going to edit it so that I can sell it on my platforms, because my platforms don't like that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think OnlyFans likes it.
No,
that kind of
they
stuff.
will not allow it,
Yeah, so she's going to edit it out for that. But I'm trying to get back into shooting content at least 50% for fun and 50%. We were talking about how business-oriented we both are. And I got...
I was her first girl.
Fact. Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
And it's crazy how much she's grown. Like, when I first met her, I remember she was so nervous to do girl, like lesbian, okay?
Yeah.
And then, like... a couple months later, I'm like going on Twitter scrolling, and I'm like, holy shit, her head's in a toilet. Holy shit, she's throwing up. But like you can tell she genuinely enjoys it.
She really does.
Yeah.
Which is why it's like, it's easier to push my boundaries when she's so happy.
Yeah.
And so like we did a bunch of stuff. I don't want to give away too much, but like,
well, I mean, they're not
true.
seeing it,
That's
so
true.
they're just gonna want to go watch it.
That's very true. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm a little tired, but we started out, I was like, let's do a fake out. And so we like were making out and stuff and petting her face. And then I just smacked her really hard. So there was a lot of face slapping, face punching. I taped her face and covered her mouth. There was a lot of and using like a hard paddle. And I did a lot of her. She's training. Her is the tightest.
Oh, yeah.
I've
eaten her.
So I was putting the glass toys in to stretch her. There's no discernible, it's just pink. There's no discernible hole as to where it would go. And we put in the gaping one. Yeah. Just wall. There's no, and I was trying to f her with a, and I was trying to find like the entrance. And so you have to tilt it up way high. Oh. So her intestines are like, and also, like, super, like, kinked. Yeah. So I was like, you're going to have to really work at this if you want to be an... Because your body says no.
Yeah, that's what Scotty says about me is my ass is too tight. Because, like, he tries to do little things, and it's just...
I tried to put my fist in her, and I got this much in. But, because I have really good beginner hands.
You have, like, nice fingers, too.
It's like, it's just tight. Yeah. It's like, boop, like a big... But, and
that was so cute.
I can't help myself. But I only got this much in, and I felt like my fingers were being crushed. Yeah. Because I've girls before in the and I've never that hard. I was like, I'm a little worried about my
hand getting sucked up there.
Yeah, I was like, this hurts my fingers actually. So that was cool. And then I choked her with my foot. That was fun.
Yeah, I bet it all looked so good.
I gagged her with my foot a bunch, and like we had her like puke in a dog bowl, and I was like, okay, so let's pour this into this measuring cup, over here, and then we'll use the dog bowl for spit for my part of the video. So we were like going back and forth and like cleaning up puke and then going back and like
it's kind of cool. Like, this is like a real conversation. Did the puke make you feel like you were going to throw up though?
It did at one point, and she's great with boundaries too. She's a little bratty, so she likes to push it a little, but she knows when to stop, which is good. And I'm really good at vocalizing my limits at this point. So there was one point at the beginning where she was throwing up, and we did something, and I don't know what it was, but I was just like, and I felt it right here. Yeah. And I don't like throwing up. I don't like how it feels. Nothing about it is fun to me. So I was like, okay, we need to just hold off for a second. I'm going to go in there, just take a breath. And she was like, okay. Yeah. And so I took a quick breath. I was like,
and then you were
okay, I'm good. Yeah. Like, there was like, that was the only time that I had to be like, okay, let's take a break.
Knowing your limits though, too, I think helps with you not feeling bad about the situation either. Because I feel like there's been shoots that you've probably done in the past. I know there's shoots I've done in the past where I've left and I've been like, I should have said something just so I could feel better overall. And because you know your boundaries and like you've done this for like 8 years now, right? 8? Yeah. Yeah, like I think it helps. And then with her being so like nice and, you know, understanding.
It was kind of, I love that we filmed all of it because I kind of want to edit together some of the BTS and make it like a, look, this is how you're supposed to do consent. Like, here it is. This is how you do it.
I think you should.
Because I would like to do that. I'll talk to her about it because I'm not the best editor, but like, I think I'll take some time to work on that. But because being able to like say in that moment, like, hey, I need a quick, this is a lot. I need a sec. Made it so that later in the video, I was able to go past that limit And it was super fun for both of us. Because there have been a couple, I've only had 2 serious incidents on set that I was like, this was not okay.
What was it?
So I don't normally talk about it, but
you don't have to either. But.
No, it's okay. I'm at that point in my career now where I'm like, honestly, go f*** yourself. Yeah. It's VR. I don't promote my scene for them. I don't talk about them positively or anything because this was the worst thing. The director was extremely inappropriate the whole time, Jimmy Lifestyles.
I've heard about him.
Yeah, because 1 month after my incident was the Emma and Emma incident.
Okay, yes. Okay, I remember when all that was on Twitter and talked about.
Yeah, like, I'm like, whew. Yeah. Like, I'm there already. So he was super inappropriate the whole day, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And, like, saying stuff about, like, wanting to f*** me and wanting me to f*** the whole crew and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, this isn't funny, joking. Because there's banter, but my heart's going fast.
But when you're vulnerable on set, it's like you're already being vulnerable with your scene partner or whoever is, like, you have to be. Yeah. And if they are already trying to push your limits, it's like, you don't feel safe.
There were 3 separate incidents that were the big problems.
What were
they? There was an outside part, and I had to go around the corner of a house, and he was back there with me. And he was like, if I close my eyes and I grope you, it doesn't count. So he, like, closed his eyes and, like, tried to grab me, and I got away. Yeah. And I was like, that's not funny. Yeah. And I sent him away. And then when it was time to pay me, he pays in cash. Yeah. And he, like, grabbed me and slammed me down on the pool table and, like, bent me over it and started counting the money on my back. And I tried to set up.
No.
Yeah. It gets worse. I tried to sit up, and he pushed me back down, and he's like, I can't pay you unless I count it on your back. And this was 1 month into...
That is an abuse of power.
Yeah. And it was bad. And I slipped away. Yeah. And I went down to the floor, and he grabbed my hair and, like, rubbed my face against his crotch, and I, like, shoved away. And I grabbed the money, and I, like, walked out of the room. And then the male talent could see what was happening, so he was trying to help me leave faster. Yeah. And he put my purse in the trunk and shut the trunk. So my keys were in the trunk. And this was not my smart new car. This was my old car. Yeah. So I was like, I can't leave. And so I had to call a locksmith. It took a couple hours, but while I was waiting, I went back in the house, and Jimmy was trying to talk to me, but he was walking away from me, like, deeper into the house. And so I was following him, trying to hear what he was saying. And I'm like, at one point, I just got to chill.
And it's hard, though, because when you're in those situations, it's like, because people always say, like, why don't you just sit outside? It's like, well, I'm trying. You're so new at that point. You're like, I'm trying to not make myself look bad.
Yeah, and it's like, it's hot outside.
Yeah.
And, you know, and everybody's outside, but I don't necessarily want to hang out with everybody. I kind of want to, and the director's trying to talk to me, and I know I don't like him, and this has been awful, but the director's still trying to talk to me, and I'm new, and I'm just like, let me just hear what this is saying.
Right.
And so I'm following him to the house, and then I got to chill as I was about to go through a doorway. And I was like, And I backed up a few steps. And I said, Jimmy, I can't hear you. And he didn't say anything. And I was like, I'm going back outside. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me out there. And I started to turn around, and he ran out of the room and started he came right at me.
Yeah.
And he grabbed my sweatpants and yanked them down around my ankles. And I screamed. And I said, no. And I pushed his face, and I grabbed my pants and ran, and he chased me back to the front door. All the way to the front door.
Holy crap. And was that in 2019 when you started mainstream? Yeah. Oh my God.
And I get out the front door, and I'm kind of breathing heavy, and he stops right in the door, and he goes, if you weren't asking for it, you'd have tied your pants. Because I didn't have them tied. They were just loose. Fuck? And then he was like, girls who don't tie their sweatpants are asking for it. And I was like,
is he still in the industry?
Yeah. And so I wrote, so my agent lived in Florida, so I tried calling him. He was asleep.
Was it Riley?
Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, I love Riley for
I wasn't saying he's bad. I was just asking because you said Florida. So
I just wanted to clarify because I know people have mixed feelings, but he handled it really well.
Yeah.
And
it's good that you say that, because I feel like a lot of the time people don't give credit where it needs to be put.
I'm a big believer in, if you do good for me, I'll say so. If you do bad for me, I will say so. And he was a great agent. But I left a voicemail on his phone, crying, and I wrote everything down. I still have it saved in my phone and on my computer. I have the whole statement.
And it's good that you do.
And the only thing I would change is I should have called the cops. I should have called the cops right there.
It's just so hard in those situations because, you say you should have, but, when you're in the moment, it's a lot harder.
You just want to go. Yeah, you just want to get out. And there's no wrong way to handle it.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen to me, but, I've had situations where, someone was being creepy, and, I was 100% in control of the situation, right? But I left feeling like I should have said something, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine being in your situation where it's 100 times worse and someone's genuinely touching me.
Yeah.
Putting your face in places, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it was it was a 14-hour day.
Right. But you're tired and you want to get paid. And the whole money thing too, that's a whole abuse of power. Him bending you over like that, fuck no.
But, and I tried to handle it the right way. I did not tweet about it.
Yeah.
I contacted the VR owner, and Riley knows him for business, and so we all three were communicating with their lawyer and all that stuff, and it ended up they acted like they were going to do something about it, and then at the end they were like, yeah, we like Jimmy, so he's a personal friend, so he's not going to go anywhere.
And then it happened again, right?
And then it happened a month later. A month after mine was Emma and Emma, and I was like, you know what, we tried to handle this the right way. I'm never going to promote the scene. I'm never going to promote the site. I will never shoot for the site again unless you fire him. And after you fire him, there will have to be a time period to make sure you're not bringing him back. But at this point, I don't think it's not worth it. I'll never shoot for that company again.
No, because they should have gotten rid of him so long ago.
They really should have.
Especially when other people are complaining too. If, I'm going to be real with you, you're not someone that has a bad reputation in the industry, but there are girls who say things sometimes, and you're I'm gonna be real with you. There's been some girls that say things about Hobie, and these girls do not have good reputations in the industry, and people are like, is this true or is this not? You're not one of them that people even question, in my opinion. If something, and no one should ever question things, but
I don't. Well, and I don't know, because I'm in a weird middle place, because I have been SA'd in my personal life, and stuff like that. I haven't been necessarily SA'd in or anything, but I think it's a line we have to toe between believing everyone that says something and understanding that people are people and they have motivations.
Right.
So like I this is how I think about my stuff is I don't expect anyone to ever believe me without evidence. It's my word against his.
Right.
You can totally, I will never get mad at you for not believing me. I don't think that's right.
Well, and a lot of the time it's on film. Like we're on a set where there's cameras and stuff. Like that's why I always have my friend with me.
I advocate for B-roll.
Yeah.
I advocate for my ex installed 4K security cameras in every room that he shoots in with full audio.
Yeah.
And I think and he pays like so much money to have servers to save that.
Yeah.
And I think that's good for the company and it's good for the girls. It's good for everybody.
Yeah.
There needs to be B-roll because I know for a fact that people have said about me that is not true.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that I know what happened. Yeah. And I think it's still best to keep things off Twitter.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the first time I've actually ever said the whole thing.
Yeah. And I appreciate you talking about this. And I think anyone who's listening, like, because I have a lot of people who, like, right now we're averaging about 10,000 listeners, which is, like, amazing. But a lot of these people that are listening, like, personally message me and they say, wow, I didn't know that is something that, like, you guys deal with, or, you know, this is giving me a lot more insight into, like, you being a person.
And this is a lot of a line to toe, too, because I don't want anyone to think that that's what is like, because it's not.
But these things do happen.
They do happen and usually it happens with people that are very secure in their position.
Right.
Jimmy knows he's very secure in his position.
And he knew it because he still has it. Like,
yeah. I went and did a ghosty for Pornstar Cam House, and I've never said this one out loud either, but go yourself. And the guy, like, negged me really hard and, like, was trying to, like, get me to do stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's not what a ghosty is.
Right. Explain what a ghosty is so people know.
I had to do a lot of ghosties when I first started because I'm a little older, and people wanted to make sure that my photos weren't, like, edited or whatever.
And they're not. And just so everyone knows, she's literally not even wearing makeup right now or anything. So beautiful.
You aren't either, pretty lady.
I know, look at us.
I'm all bundled and you're all out. It's, like, perfect.
Well, it's, like, very comfortable. I don't ever wear bras.
No, please don't. Yeah, I don't wear bras either.
I know. I feel like it's our thing, you know?
But, yeah, it's people that are comfortable in their position. They know nothing's going to happen to them and that kind of stuff. And so it's just kind of, I don't know. I went off on a tangent.
Well, you went on the ghosty.
Oh, ghosties. Okay, so a ghosty is when you go and are seen by a company. So I wanted to shoot for a bunch of companies, and they weren't sure about hiring me. So what you're supposed to do is you go, you show up, you don't wear makeup, or you wear, like, very plain makeup. Usually they want you to not wear makeup unless it's a company that has you do your own makeup. Then they might tell you to do something. And when you get there, you wear clothes that don't leave marks, and you, like, go into a room with somebody, it's private, and you get naked and you kind of take pictures. They take pictures of you, and you do a little spin.
Yeah.
And then you put your clothes back on, you do a little interview maybe.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact, I've had other girls tell me after that he, like, got them to, like, make out with him, and he them or to them or whatever during the ghosty because they didn't know any better.
Right. Well, because I feel like a lot of the time too, like, you don't get prepped on, like, what is supposed to happen at these, because no one publicly, in my opinion, like, talks about this stuff unless, like, you and I are hanging out as friends and you're like, oh yeah, yesterday I went on this ghosty. Like, if I had never been on one, I could ask you. But if you don't know people in the industry, you don't know what the standard is. You don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, my first experience with a photographer, let me tell you right now, this man knew I was new, and this was back in 2018. And I've never talked about this unless it's been, like, with people I know personally, right? You know Bad Dragon? He, like, I guess shoots, like, their product pictures.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he was like, oh, yeah, like, I'm their main photographer. Totally not. Like, totally not. He has shot product pictures for them, and that's it. And he was like, can you come back to my hotel room? This was at, like, an event for industry. And he's like, can you use it? And I'll take pictures for the site. And, like, I was so new that I didn't understand. But thankfully, this random girl, I still don't know her name to this day, she literally heard the whole conversation. She knew he was, like, one of those creepy photographers that, like, hangs out at the event, but, like, you know, isn't getting paid to be there. And she, like, swoops in and she's like, nope, she's coming with me. We have a shoot right now. And, like, totally, like, swooped me up. She took me into, like, a whole hallway, another room, and was like, he's so creepy. Please don't talk to him. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, because at first I was like, oh, this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
And if she hadn't told me, I would have gone into the room myself with the Bad Dragon. He would have taken pictures for his personal use.
Yeah, because they don't put any pictures like that on the website.
No, and I had never seen the website. I didn't even know what a bad dragon was.
You're great. No, it's... I feel like it's one of those things where you don't want to break the fourth wall and ruin the fantasy for people. So I don't talk about, like, the gross things that happen on set or, like, the weird things my body does after a scene or whatever on Twitter. But I wish there was, like, a forum-type place where we could give each other advice and stuff. But it is kind of all word of mouth. Yeah. So I think if you are looking to get into the industry, it's good to get a mentor of some kind. Like, don't just settle on one right away, though. Maybe have more than one and kind of, like, feel it out.
And people who are real. Because I think a lot of the time people try to, like, portray, because I know for myself, like, I have learned so much about my body since I started. Like, I don't think I really understood what my body looked like before that. Like, I'm going to be so real. I did not know I had a super small clit. Like, have you ever seen what my body looks like?
I know I have.
It's like, very, like, I have outer lips and then, like, the smallest ever. Like, every dude has been like, I can't even find it. I'm like, bro, you gotta just spread a little more. And it's very small, but it's there.
Aww.
And I didn't know that because I had never, like, looked at mine the way that I have now, like, you know, being in. But I also noticed when, like, my fingernails have scratched myself before, I can see exactly when. I know how to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And now when my friends are, like, having issues personally, they're like, Sydney, what do I do? And I'm like, I would never have known this.
Yeah.
But now I do.
But now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, bodies are weird things. And when you do weird things to them, they get weirder. So, yeah, there's a lot of little hints and tricks and stuff. And if you're a performer and you need something or you want to, especially I say this all the time, like, if you're on set and you can't get a hold of your agent and you think something's weird, call me.
And if you've become curious about my content, you can always go to onlyfans.com/fitsid. That's my VIP OnlyFans. I'm on there every day. I post every day. All of my scenes, pictures, everything is on there for one low price of $35 a month. So that's less than getting a cup of coffee every day at Starbucks, and you get to see everything I've posted in the last 4 years. I also have a free OnlyFans, which is onlyfans.com/XXXFitSid. So that has my free OnlyFans. You can unlock as in, like, a la carte options. Or if you just want to go to my website, fitsid.com, FITSID.com. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know in case you had a little bit of curiosity. Yeah, do you have an agent now?
I do. I'm with OC Modeling.
And what is your advice for someone when they're trying to look for an agent and, like, tips you have?
So when I was looking for an agent, I was lucky because I was dating a man who was a producer. So he had the contact for a bunch of the agents and he had worked with them. So he knew his interactions. So he could say, like, this agent's really good about getting me the info I need. This one's kind of, like, slower on the get back. So that kind of narrowed it down. And then I called a bunch of them. Like, I called, like, 5 of them and had long conversations on the phone about what I expected, what was expected of me. And I think that's the best way to go about it. Like, you need to figure out what your goals are and be able to communicate that well. Because my goal is to get my face out there more, so promotion. And then income is, like, a secondary goal when I'm shooting. And then also, like, I don't want to shoot things that I'm not into. So,
what
like,
are you not into?
I'm not a size queen.
Yeah.
I'm not really into...
I'm not a size queen either.
I'm not really into being degraded at all myself.
Same. I think if someone were to degrade me, I'd have to think they're so hot, like God's gift to this entire universe, and I would need, like, 3 hours worth of aftercare.
I wouldn't even be able. You're stronger than me because I'd just be like, go yourself.
I could never have a girl degrade me.
No, and like, that's so weird, right? But
yeah.
I can't. It's really hard for me to get dominated by a girl.
I can't
at all.
I did one scene and it was too much.
Yeah.
And she even gave me, like, a chain to drop.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And I always tell myself, I'm like, it wasn't her fault because she told me what I needed to do. But I am stubborn. And I was like, I can do it. And then I had to see her at FetCon, like, 2 months later. And I was like, it's not her fault, but I'm running away from her.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad.
That's a hard thing, too, because it's super, I don't think people talk about it enough, like, the responsibility of each person in a scene. Yep. I think that needs to be communicated.
Yeah.
And you know, because in a scene, like if you're the topping partner or the partner, your job is to get hard and stay hard. Your job is to come when you're told.
Yep.
And your job is to like be professional in the scene. Like don't go harder than the scene requires just because you like it.
Right.
And remember boundaries and stick to them and pay attention for when there is a signal. But as the person or the dominated person, our job is to take it and make it look pretty, to accurately and clearly communicate when boundaries are crossed. It is my job.
Yeah. No, and I think people don't think about that because like in a scene you can nicely say things that like sound sexy that where you're kind of like
there's hints.
And you can stop a scene too.
And I like to go over all that before because you never know. People work different. So when I'm doing a scene, the best way to make sure everybody has a good time is right before the starts, because otherwise people might forget. But right before the starts, after everything else is done, you go, okay, what are your do's and don'ts?
Right.
Is there anything you want to try today? And then how do you communicate when you're not comfortable?
Yeah.
So, and the best ways to do it that I find are the leg tap. Do a 2-tap on the leg.
That's what we do for face sitting.
That's
when I'm
great.
sitting on, because a lot of guys are like, hey, like sit on my, like really sit on my face. And I'm like, okay, but I need to know like very clearly when I need to get up because I'm not trying to make you pass
I'm not catching a body here. Yeah. No,
but
absolutely.
That leg tap is literally the easiest way because no one's going to do that, you know what I mean, however many times.
Yeah. And you can, on some sets, I'll do like, if you say something that's completely out, like when I do superhero femdom type stuff, dominated type stuff, I'll say, is slow down because superheroes don't curse.
Yeah.
Like kind of that kind of stuff. But the thing is, like, no matter what, it is your job to communicate that. And if you feel that you're not okay, it's bad for your mental health and the other person's mental health too to continue and then talk about it later. Yeah. It's so much better to go cut. Yeah. Just say cut. Yeah. If nothing else, just say cut. Yeah. And keep saying cut. Because no matter what, if you're doing a scene and you need to cut and the director just doesn't want to cut or something, they're not going to be able to use the footage if you're just like, cut, I don't like this, cut. Yeah. Can you not hear me right now? Like, you can, it's easier to say, but like, it's if you can't communicate clearly, you cannot do this job. It's not safe.
Well, and one of my friends, she's married, right? And so her hard no. So like when I'm on set and stuff, and I'm like, hey, like, what are your hard no's? I say hard no's, and then I say like, what's your gray area? Like things that like you're like maybe wanting to do with me, but like let's be careful on, because there's some people that want to do certain things with me, but they normally like might not want to. It sounds weird, but you know, I have guys that are like, let me lick your armpit, and I'm like, I'm not gonna keep like telling you to keep licking my armpit if you're not, you know what I mean? Like, you know. And for me, like my big thing is like no, right? And I think no hitting. Yeah. But anything else is like pretty much fair game. And it's crazy because you get these people, and like my friend, for example, she shoots by herself, right? Just her and male talent. She's married. In her relationship, she never wants to feel like she's cheating on him. And so the only time that she feels like that is if someone's like genuine, like, because in a scene for her, like she can enjoy it, but there's like a very big difference between enjoying it and like them using her for their pleasure. Like she doesn't want to be like head control is a hard no. Being called like certain names, like she tells them that all ahead of time. Yeah. She had a male talent. She calls me crying afterwards. And I had worked with him. So I know he does this stuff. And she calls me crying after, and my friend was with me, and I put everyone on speakerphone, and she's like, Sydney, like, I can't believe this happened. I was like, hey, like, you're on speakerphone right now. And she was talking to both my friend and I. And she's like, I feel like I cheated on my husband. She's like, I should have said no. I should have said stop. And she's like, and I don't blame him because I could have said that. And she's like, but now I feel horrible. And she hasn't shot a scene since. Because she knew that she should have said something, even though she told him her hard no's. Like, when people are trying to stay hard and whatever, like, there's no excuse. But at the same time, like, she had the opportunity to say it, so she knew, like, I'm not going to go and blast this guy on Twitter. I'm not going to do any of that. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, girl, I was like, because she was here in Phoenix. And I told her, I was like, you should have called me. I would have been on that set, and I would have said it, not you.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's why I always have someone, like, if you and I were shooting right now, I would make sure I always have at least one person here. And I have a camera right there that's recording. Every single room has at least one camera, probably 3. And that way, if anyone ever tries to say that something happened and it didn't, and I've actually had to pull footage before.
Me too.
And it's like, I get it, because, like, I know I'm not crazy, but, like, I've had people be like, hey, like, this happened. And I'm like,
no, it didn't.
Here's the entire day, and here's what you're saying happened, but here's what you really said. And it's like them, like, lying.
Yeah.
On film. And I'm just like, this, you don't want this getting out. So just understand, like, you said this.
Yeah.
And, like, let's leave it here.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just crazy because, like, with her, she was in a hotel room, so there's no cameras. He was, like, trying to control the situation with his cameras, and, like, she's very particular. So she already felt, like, not in control. And then it was just him and her, and then her by herself. And I was like, girl, like, I would have been there. I would have driven over. Like, but I thought that she, you know, like, everyone has their own method.
And there's different ways to think about things, too. Like, at least, again, this is me. I feel like we all have decisions that we make. And so the times that I've thought maybe I should say something, and then I decide not to, I think of that as a business decision.
Yeah, and I think for her, she just wanted to do the scene.
Yeah.
But I think the hard part is, like, because here's the thing, I don't have any regrets in my life, you know? I'm like, if it really bothered me, I know I'd say something. Like, there have been guys that have ripped me up inside, and let me tell you, I have stopped and been like, hey, I need to breathe before I throw up. Like, you are way too big, and you're killing me. But then, like, there's been other times where I'm like, I can just push through.
Yeah.
Like, Boswell Black.
Yeah.
With him, I'm like, literally in this scene, I'm going like this while he's f***ing me style. I'm literally holding and praying my hands. And I think the shot was from behind, but I literally look at the person filming and I'm like, dear God, like, he's so big. But it's funny because, like, he knew if I would have said stop, he would have stopped instantly. Yeah. And, like, I can tell him more this. Do you have a preference on
spit? I like spit.
You and Crystal are the same.
Yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right a lot of the time. Yeah, sometimes it burns, and I'm just like...
Well, that's how I feel about water-based. Silicone doesn't burn me.
Both. I honestly, I've never had a lube that doesn't burn at least a little bit. But I'm sensitive. Super Yeah. So I like spit a lot. It's like, just let me...
But do you get spitty?
I do.
Yeah, I don't.
If I'm really turned on, I start drooling.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And then if I'm turned on, I get really wet. So I like to stretch a little bit before scenes, and I like to make myself a couple times before scenes.
What makes you?
I go in the bathroom and I just
with your fingers.
Yeah. Or a vibrator.
Are you? Yeah, same here. I feel like that's the other thing too. Is, like, everyone's different.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like stimulation all the way. Like, I don't need any. I mean, if I have, like, a inside me and my fingers on my, like, I'll harder, but, like. Yeah. My Hitachi's my best friend.
Yeah. No, I really like a good vibrator, or, like, I really like...
Like giving or receiving?
Both.
You know what my favorite position is? 69.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's, like, you're doing it and getting it.
I get it. I do. And I like it in theory, but in practice, I don't know if I'm just too short or too tall or whatever.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'3", 5'4". But... I don't know, like, if I'm blowing or eating somebody out, like, I want to focus on that. And if I'm focused on that, then I'm not going to.
See, I'm the hardest in 69.
See? And I have to be.
I think it's because I get that, like, or I have fixation.
Yeah.
But someone playing with me while something's in my mouth.
Yeah.
Is, like, heaven. Like.
Are you on top or bottom?
On top.
Okay. Because I need to be on bottom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so that's probably part of it, too.
That's definitely part of it is I need to be on my back.
Because my thing is, like, because I'm on top, like, their dick is, like, down my throat. Like, I'm choking on it while they're, like, going ham on me. And I'm just, like, dead but happy.
Yeah.
But I also think that's why I really enjoyed, like, the boy-girl stuff. Because, like, then I have a dick in my mouth, in my body. Like, I like the fixation part.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously, sex feels great.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Brother Love about this. Because we were talking, because this is before I ever did it. He's like, you like that mouth stuff? He's like, you'll probably love that. And I was like, you're right. Like,
oh yeah.
But it's hard because, like, in my personal life, like, I want to find a dude. Like, this is what I really want. I really want to find a dude that, like, is so down to do that type of thing. Because, like, that would be amazing. Like, having 2 dudes and, like, having him actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if he wants it or not. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Floats his boat. But, like, that would be amazing. But it's so hard to find people that are open-minded that are, like, not in the industry, you know?
Yeah. No, it is. It's hard. But, I don't know, man. I feel like I've gotten so vanilla as I've gotten older. How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
I don't remember. I'm 30. Guess. So, I would guess so
She's got to think about it, guys.
Yeah, well, because you're very mature, but like your voice and your face and everything makes me want to say 24. But
I'm
like
22.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was like,
I feel like I'm pretty vanilla too, but in a different way. Because I feel like I'm vanilla in the sense that I haven't experienced a lot of things, and you have, and you know what you like. I'm
telling you, when I was 22, 23, I was a crazy person. For sure. I was a psycho. And so it's like, I was just like, all the time, use me, throw me away, blah, blah, blah. So, but
that was me at like 18. And I feel like once I got like at 18 is when I got into, and I feel like once you're in, it kind of like,
I feel like it speeds up it gives you a lot of things to experience. So it kind of speeds up how fluid you are.
Yeah.
So like, I think a normal person would go, ooh. But since you're doing all that stuff, it's like this. And so it's like just constantly like, ooh, that, ooh, that, ooh, that, ooh, that.
And you don't have to like, you can do it whenever you want. Like there's so many opportunities to try things versus like when you get an opportunity in your personal life, it's not as consistent. Like anytime I go to Vegas, everyone's like, this, do that, you know, like, you want to try it for the first time? I'm like, no. Like,
no.
But it's like you have all these things that you can try.
Yeah.
That it's, you know, easy to just try things. And I think that's why, like, at least for me, like, I used to really like pain infliction, like, on myself, like, people doing that to me. I don't like it now.
Yeah.
Like, there's things that, like, when I got into pain, I started realizing, like, oh, I actually don't really like this. I like this better. Yeah. I like the way I feel after this. Because I usually, like, with the pain stuff would feel bad.
Yeah.
Like, afterwards because I didn't get aftercare.
Yeah.
And now I know what I need to feel good.
Yeah. No, that's really great.
What do you need after a scene and then in your personal life?
So, in my personal life, I don't really need anything. I'm just like, let's go again. Yeah. Let's go again. Or cuddling and stuff. But after a scene, it just depends. Because if I'm really close with the person, then I like to like kind of hang out with them, and I like to shower with them and wash them.
Yeah, I find that to be so like nice.
It's so sensual and like caring. Like that's my favorite kind of like aftercare after a scene is like I'll start to go toward the shower, and they'll like start to go to another bathroom, and I'll be like, hey, like if you want to come shower with me, that'd be cool. Like you can totally. You're good. Like just
we just like we're close enough already.
Yeah, it's like I had my tongue all the way up here. Can you come and wash my back?
Yeah.
And so I like doing that a lot. But if we didn't like vibe or it wasn't the best scene, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to just rinse off, and I'm going to go eat lots of food, and I'm going to go home.
Do you think you love?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do. Yeah, I was a bit of a addict.
Like a nympho, yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit of an orgasm addict, I guess, because I when I first started, I didn't have so I was 21. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was dating a guy from about 18 to 23, and he was my first everything. And so we didn't have sex though until I moved in with him, like a few months after I moved in with him. Then we had sex because we were just trying to wait for marriage, but that didn't happen.
Wow, look at you, so wholesome.
I am so wholesome and afraid of hell. It's like fear of consequences is not the same as this is what I know I should do. Yeah. So then as soon as I started having sex, I was like, I want to do this all the time. But he was like a once a month kind of person. Maybe.
Do you feel like sex drive is like a huge thing that you look for in a partner?
Or to an extent.
Yeah.
But less now.
Yeah.
It matters so much less now.
What do you look for now in a partner?
Okay. So now I look for somebody who's a whole person. We talked about this a little bit. Somebody who's a whole person without me, because I don't want someone who like I want to be a whole person by myself, and I want you to be a whole person by yourself.
And together you can be amazing. You're not filling the voids.
We're a team.
Yeah.
We're not one whole person. We're two whole people on a team. Yeah. That's great. I like ambition because I'm ambitious, and so I want it to match. I've tried the whole, like, house husband style, and it's just not my thing.
Right.
So
do you think you want a more manly man?
Yeah. If I can manhandle my man, it's a turnoff a little bit.
I see, and that's the problem for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I like because because I'm 22.
You can like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but because I'm 22, I feel like I haven't experienced enough of people. Like, I've only had 3 boyfriends, right? First boyfriend was very, like, typical boyfriend. Like, we would go out, we would do things together, party, like, nothing. It was all surface level, you know? And then, like, second one was, like, abusive, like, horrible. Should have seen the red flags. So with him, I was just scared as fuck, like, all the time and had to figure out, like, how to leave him. Third one was, like, God sent heaven angel, like, good person, but, like, still lacking, you know, things. And I'm like, okay, what do I like? Like, what do I really need in, like, personality? Because I feel like, yeah, I want a good guy who's not going to, like, be mean to me. But that's such low standards.
Right. You want a guy that's not going to be mean to you and who's going to, like, respect you and support you. That's important. Like, if you're not okay with my job, then it's not going to work.
If someone says they're even hesitant.
Yeah. Then it's a little...
Game. No, I'm not even game. Like, I literally am like, hey, we're not going to work out. Because that second guy I told you about.
Yeah.
He literally, the one that was abusive, you guys, he, from the beginning, kind of seemed a little hesitant about it. And I should have seen that as a red flag because his insecurities, he actually went to my first AVN with me.
Yeah.
His insecurities are the reason why he became the way he was.
Yeah.
And treated me that way because he was insecure.
Yeah. No, you can't be insecure and date a person.
No.
But...
Would you rather date a civilian or a guy?
That I don't care.
Yeah.
I super don't care. And I haven't really run into any problems, like, dating with civilians either.
And you're in Vegas. So,
yeah,
like,
Vegas is a pretty chill place. Like, people are very, like, you're not hurting anybody, cool.
Yeah.
Like, so it works out there. Like,
do you love living there?
I love it so much.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, I love Phoenix, but when the pandemic happened, I was actually looking at a place in Vegas right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then I was like, like, I'm just going to stay in Phoenix. I love Phoenix. And eventually I feel like I might end up, like, doing a month rental and staying in Vegas, shooting a ton. And same with maybe trying LA for a month. Not that I would ever live in LA. I would never.
No, me neither.
But there's people that I want to work with who, like, if they become available one of those days, it'd be so nice to just be there and be like, let's work. Like, let's shoot. And also, like, I don't know. I don't think I could date an LA guy. But Vegas, I feel like people are so open-minded and real.
Yeah. No, Vegas, I love Vegas. I know people are either love it or hate it, and I'm gonna love it. But I mean, there's some nice boys in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
who are people you've worked with that you would recommend to other people?
So let's see. I have really enjoyed, and if you're not mentioned, that doesn't mean
right. Just top of the head, you know.
Just top of the head. I really like working with Danny Steele. Worked with him recently.
And is he new? He's newer, right?
He's newer, yeah. And he's so sweet and nice and professional.
Yeah.
And I like working with... sorry, my head went blank. My ex, Michael Masters, is really great. I love his ideas. He gets very passionate, though, so sometimes I have to be like, hey, chill.
Yeah.
It's like, hey. Whew.
You're like, let's take it down a notch.
Let's take it down a notch. But I like it because I get really into it too. So usually it's not that. Usually it's we're both like... And you want
someone that's excited about shooting and, like, making fun content.
Yeah. And then I like working with David Lee. David Lee's a sweetheart.
I think everyone says good things about him.
I've never heard a single bad thing.
No. And I don't think he's ever had, like, ED on set or anything.
No. That's cool too. I vibe really well with Robbie Echo.
Okay.
We've always made fire scenes. Like, every scene we've shot has been really good.
Have you ever worked with Lady of Fires guy?
No.
I always wonder because I don't know anyone personally who has worked with him, but I see them all the time that are, like, they're trending on, like, Hub and I always wonder, like, their scenes seem to be really, like, the arch. You know, like, that's...
They came up to me at Exotica and they were talking to me about working together. And I was gonna, it just, I don't know. We ended up not, and I think they took it like personal. So I don't think.
I think it's hard because when you go up to someone personally and then it doesn't work out, people like overthink things and they don't realize like you have your own life, you're busy. Like,
and it was at Exotica too. So like I have a line, and they kind of came to the front of the line instead of, so the guys were kind of upset, and I was like, hey man, like we can talk on Twitter.
Yeah. Like and they live in Vegas, right?
Yeah. And it's like I have a whole line here, and I'm not gonna disrespect them because you guys are performers, and I don't think they like that. So I was just like,
I would get it though. Like
and so I was like, it's not personal.
Right.
But I'm busy.
Right. No,
so,
I totally get that.
Yeah. So I don't think they never reached back out. So it was so.
But you can do an arch, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do a 90-degree arch.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See, and that's something that like I've always wondered, like, because now I'm getting back. So like during the pandemic, I didn't collaborate with like as many people as I usually do, and now I'm like getting back into shooting with people, right? And I'm just like, what can I do? What because do you know who Logan Long is?
Yes.
So he was my first like real boy girl scene with like a professional person. First of all, I did not expect his to be that big. I literally was like, dear, there's a part in the scene. If anyone ever has seen this scene, there's a part where I'm riding him, like, the froggy? I call it the froggy, at least.
I hate it.
Yeah. Well, then there's a point where literally my hand's in the air and I'm praying to God. Like, you can see in the video where my face is like, dear Lord, like, keep it going, Sydney.
You're so cute.
But, like, it's so funny because, like, with him, I learned so much about, like, positions and, like, things. And I've always been a bigger girl. Like, I'm 5'9". My smallest weight in has been 200 pounds. My smallest weight in life has been 180. And I'm 300 right now.
Yeah.
And so it's so crazy because, like, with him, he's like, let's do pile driver. That is not a big girl move. Like,
Yeah.
But I still want to try all these new things because I know that you can. You just got to,
figure
work
it out.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do splits?
I cannot do the splits.
I always wonder who can and who can't.
I can't do a cartwheel either or any gymnastics-y stuff.
I'm not that person either. I can pick a girl up and like, those cool things, but I can't do the.
Yeah. Hey, that's enough. I like being picked up. I like picking girls up too.
Have you done evolved fights?
I have not done evolved fights. I totally would though. But I have done other wrestling stuff. Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that stuff too.
I have my Michael Masters actually has a sex wrestling series, and I really liked it. So now I get his studio and I shoot my sex wrestling stuff there now.
I think that stuff's cool.
Yeah.
We should wrestle sometime.
Yes.
I think that would be so much fun.
I would love that.
And my fans like always love to see. Do you know who Panda Girl is? Andrea Lee. Okay, so she does like a lot of like Brazilian face sitting, licking, all that crazy stuff in like wrestling. She was my first wrestling scene, and it was actually way fun because like when people know how to do it and they're not trying to actually hurt you, like it's fun. It was genuinely enjoyable in comparison to like when someone's trying to beat you up. You're like, okay, I don't want to die right now. I don't want to break my nose. Like,
yeah. No, I agree. It's really nice when they know what they're doing. I had a really good wrestling scene with Cody Steele.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How was it working with him?
He's great. He's super professional, so that's really nice.
What is the most memorable and like your favorite scene that you've shot? I know you've shot a lot, but
yeah, that's super hard. So this is what came to mind first.
Yeah.
Either it's Michael Masters and I in my first scene with my blue hair and everything. Like, he gave me a full body massage. It took like an hour, and then a tantric massage, and then that led into like vibrator and and eating, and I just like so many times, and I it all over the place. Real, not pee. And then we for like 5 minutes, and it was over, and I was just like, that was amazing.
You were probably so drained.
And we were dating 10 days after that.
Oh yeah.
So
you were like, this was good.
I was like, we're dating now. And he was like, okay.
And you said you had blue hair in that scene?
Yeah.
And then you had orange before that, right?
Yeah. And it's a tie though between that one and a Girl with Naomi Swan.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, because I stole his idea. I steal a lot of his ideas for oil mattress thing. So we had this oil mattress thing that we put over the regular mattress. And me and her got on there and dumped oil on each other, and we're like doing all this sensual stuff and like giggling and everything. And at the very end, she was like, "There's a lot of oil left over," and I was like, "Yeah, and that's okay." And she's like, "Can you dump it on me?" I was like, "You want me to dump it on you?" She's like, "Yeah, dump it right over my head." And I was like, okay. And so that's on video too. And I dumped the whole thing on her. And then she like barrel rolls like an alligator doing a death roll.
Yeah. Isn't it fun to make content that you actually enjoy?
Yes.
Because I think, okay, so there's not that many scenes that I've done or anything that I've really done that I've like not enjoyed.
Right.
Like occasionally there's times where I'm just like, I have to get into it.
Yeah.
Like recently, I don't know what it is, but like I am just like, usually I like to shoot like 10 scenes in a day. Like it's insane. But I think because of the pandemic, I kind of like got out of like the mojo and I'm getting it back now. But and also I shoot usually with everyone I shoot a scene with, I shoot the podcast with. And this can get really tiring when you're talking so much.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like when I shoot with girls, I'm like, I gotta hype myself up. I'm like, Sydney, you can do it. Like I just shot with Olivia V like a little bit ago. I wrecked her face. Like it looks so good. Like once we started shooting the scene, it was like came back naturally. Like I was scared I wasn't gonna be able to do girl, and then I was like, what the am I talking about? Like I just need to put my fingers in her.
That definitely happens sometimes where I'm like, I'm nervous about a scene and I'm like, I just want to do a good job.
It's like when you're like having sex with someone for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like the inner fear because we're human.
Yeah.
And I think people think we're like, I mean, I can tell you right now, like I've heard you're good in bed. And I know that like people come back to us like, we're not obviously bad in bed, but we're still humans. So like, even though we know what we're doing enough and like we know anatomy, it's like you can still get nervous and you're like, like, what am I doing?
Yeah. And I get the most nervous when it's a scene where I'm leading the dialogue. And so it's a lot of ad lib for me. And I love those scenes, but I have to get really psyched up for it because otherwise I'm there and I'm like, it's okay, no pressure. If I say the wrong thing, everyone will say the wrong thing. That's fine. It's great. We can just redo the scene. If we f it up, it'll be great. So,
did you say also you were trying to do mainstream acting like normal? Or?
Yeah, I would like to do voice acting, and then also like mainstream acting would be really great. It's like a dream of mine. We'll see if it ever happens. I kind of need to get more acting lessons, I think, just to really polish up and just get a mainstream agent. Yeah,
I always wonder that because like I don't think I ever want to like act in that way just because.
I love it.
I can't remember lines. Like, I don't know how you do mainstream because for me, like, if you tell me what to do, I usually get attitude. Like, I like to do things myself, but I also like give you kudos because I'm like, that's hard,
Honestly, it's like it's easy. I really like it. It's where I feel super like relaxed because if I have a script ahead of time, especially, I can memorize it, and then I can memorize a script day of because sometimes they'll change it day of, and I love that part. Like, I like making a character real.
Yeah.
And, no, the acting part is, like, one of my favorite parts of shooting mainstream. Because then what I can do when I'm doing mainstream is sometimes I think I have a better way of doing it than they do, but I know that it's their product, so it's okay. So it kind of takes that second guessing and stuff out of my head because I'm just like, I'll mention it and I'll let it go.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to think about it anymore. And it's their product, so I'm just going to do it to the best of my ability what they want.
Yeah.
And then I get to see it later, and sometimes I'm like, I was right. I should have done it the other way. And then sometimes I'll see it, and I'll be like, okay, they were right. That did turn out really well.
Yeah, and then you did a great job at doing it.
Yeah. And so it's, I don't know, it's relaxing because I don't have to think about the lights or the camera or the angle or anything. I don't have to be like, is it focused? Like, I can just act.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because, like, you have such a look and a presence, and it's just fun seeing and meeting people who are in this industry because I feel like so many of us we're different than like our confidence level. Like we try things even if we're like not sure what we're doing, we're like, I'm gonna do this to the best of my ability, and it usually looks awesome. Like there's scenes where I'm like, this is gonna look so bad, and then I'm like looking at the footage and I'm like, holy shit, I just did that for 22 minutes straight, and then we did that and then that and then that, and I'm like, okay, like, I guess I can do it,
Yeah.
And sometimes I say some really nasty stuff, and I'm like, that came out of my mouth.
I've said stuff and then completely forgotten, like, 5 seconds later. And so, like, the first scene with Robbie Echo, I know I said some really weird, f***ed up, and I have to go watch that scene again, because we were trying to talk about it, and we were kind of looking at each other, and it was like, what did I say? But because they tried to get me to repeat it the day of, and even then I was like, I don't know what I said.
Like, it just came naturally.
Whatever I said, I'm glad you liked it, but I meant it. Trust me, but I don't remember now. I'm in a moment. Like
the moments are the best, though.
Yeah,
I'm just so glad that I got to have you on the podcast today.
I'm excited.
Tell the fans, the listeners, where can they find you?
You can find everything at one easy place, alexcoalxxx.com. So ALEXCOALXXX.com.
And I will also have that in the description. So if you guys are interested, you just go to the description, click the link, and you can find all of her stuff. And thank you so much for being on. I had so much fun talking to you. She's amazing, you guys. She has amazing energy, and she just has like this natural beauty, and she's just so sweet. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Just remember that you're always somebody's type. Sydney out. CEO.